A human crashes on an alien world, and it will change the galaxy forever. When a catastrophic malfunction sends Lawrence Hunter's freighter plummeting into the violet jungles of the planet Bolia, the down-on-his-luck pilot expects a lonely death far from home. Instead, he finds himself an honored guest in an alien village, his injuries tended by gentle healers with shimmering indigo skin. Soon, a whispered legend spreads among the Bolians. This visitor from the heavens carries a miraculous power. Crops sown near Lawrence flourish with impossible abundance. Withered limbs regain their vigor. The sick and afflicted walk again. As neighboring species flock to curry favor and bask in the human's presence, Lawrence stands at the center of an escalating struggle that could reshape the cosmic balance, or leave him shattered between the stars. For this fateful first contact will be humanity's trial by fire, a crucible to prove their worth before a watching universe. With tensions rising and tempers flaring, Lawrence faces a choice that could raise him up as a messiah, cast him down as a pariah, or see him become the most fought-over resource in the galaxy. The wheel of fate turns, the future of worlds hangs in the balance, and all rests upon the weary shoulders of one unassuming earthling far from home. In the depths of space, even the most unlikely soul might be ordained by the universe itself for a greater purpose. This is the story of a simple human who just might change everything, if he can first survive the ordeal to come. As the alien factions descended upon the Bolian village, each seeking to claim Lawrence for their own, the atmosphere crackled with tension. The Kragnar delegation, a brutish species clad in battle-scarred armor, muscled their way to the front. Their leader, a hulking warrior with a guttural snarl, jabbed a clawed finger at Lawrence. "Human, you will come with us now. The Kragnar Empire demands it." Before Lawrence could respond, a shimmering wall of light materialized between him and the Kragnar. The luminary ambassador, an ethereal being of pure energy, pulsed with restrained power. "The human is under our protection. He will not be bullied or coerced." The Bolians, though small in stature compared to the Kragnar, stood firm alongside the luminary. Merrick, the village healer who had first tended to Lawrence, stepped forward with steely dedication in her indigo eyes. "Lawrence is our guest and friend. We will not let him be taken against his will." Amidst the standoff, a sleek silver shuttle descended from the clouds, bearing the insignia of the Andromeda Consortium. Ambassador Zara emerged, her lithe form wrapped in a form-fitting jumpsuit that shimmered with advanced tech. She approached Lawrence with a disarming smile. "I come with an offer, not a demand," Zara purred, her voice smooth as silk. She extended a holographic display that showed a state-of-the-art starship. "Pledge your gifts to the consortium, and we will provide you with a ship and crew to aid your search for Earth. All we ask is exclusive access to your abilities." Lawrence hesitated, torn between his yearning for home and his growing bond with the Bolians. Before he could answer, a piercing whine split the air. A plasma bolt sizzled past his head, singeing his hair. Kallax, the Zorgax assassin, burst from the crowd, his chameleonic skin shifting to reveal his true form. He leveled his plasma rifle at Lawrence, a cruel sneer twisting his features. "The human comes with me, by order of the Zorgax Imperium." Merrick reacted instantly, tackling Lawrence to the ground as more plasma bolts scorched the earth around them. The Bolians and Luminari surged forward to engage Kallax, buying precious seconds for Merrick to haul Lawrence to his feet and dash for cover. In the chaos, Lawrence caught a glimpse of Zara, her expression calculating as she watched the battle unfold. With a sick realization, he understood that no faction could be trusted. They all sought to use him for their own gain. Merrick pulled him into a dense thicket at the village outskirts. "We must go," she urged, her voice tight with fear and anger. "Into the wild zones, where none will follow." Lawrence nodded grimly, his heart pounding. He glanced back at the village, now a roiling melee of plasma fire and clashing bodies, then met Merrick's gaze. "Lead the way." As they plunged into the tangled violet jungle, a small band of Bolians, Luminari, and Kragnar outcasts fell into step behind them, a ragtag group united by their belief in Lawrence and their rejection of their own kind's schemes. With each passing mile, Lawrence felt his strange powers growing, thrumming beneath his skin like a building charge. The flora and fauna they passed twisted and changed in his wake, warping into bizarre new forms. His companions whispered of strange dreams, visions of futures that both tempted and terrified. And through it all, the question burned in Lawrence's mind. Was he truly a savior, blessed with a gift to unite the galaxy? Or was he something far more dangerous, a catalyst for a change none could hope to control? The only path forward was to keep running, keep questioning, and pray that the truth would reveal itself before it was too late. The violet foliage parted as Lawrence and his motley crew pushed deeper into the uncharted wilds. Bioluminescent fungi cast an eerie glow across the twisted landscape, illuminating the bizarre mutations that flourished in their wake. Marek paused, her indigo skin glistening with exertion as she studied a pulsating flower that seemed to breathe. "The terraforming zones grow more unstable," she murmured. "Your presence accelerates the changes, Lawrence." Before he could respond, Zephyr, the luminary archaeologist who had joined their flight, called out excitedly, "Look! There! Beyond that ridge!" They crested the hill, and Lawrence's breath caught in his throat. Rising from the mutated jungle was a structure of impossible geometry, smooth obsidian walls etched with swirling patterns that seemed to move when he wasn't looking directly at them. "An ancient ruin," Zephyr breathed, his energy form pulsing with excitement. "Unlike any I've encountered before." As they approached, Lawrence felt a familiar tingling beneath his skin, his strange power responding to the alien edifice. He reached out to touch the surface, and the etchings flared to life, bathing the group in an otherworldly blue glow. Zephyr hovered closer, studying the inscriptions. "This language, it's completely unknown to me, but there's something about it that resonates with your energy, Lawrence. I believe—" A high-pitched whine cut through the air, followed by the sizzle of plasma bolts impacting the ruin's walls. Lawrence spun to see a squad of Zorgax commandos emerging from the undergrowth, led by a familiar face. "Kallax!" he growled as his companions scrambled for cover. The Zorgax assassin's lips curled into a cruel smile. "Did you really think you could hide from us, human? Your power leaves quite the trail." Chaos erupted as Lawrence's allies engaged the Zorgax strike team. Marek and the other Bolians used their knowledge of the terrain to outmaneuver their attackers, while the Luminary unleashed dazzling energy attacks. Even the Kragnar outcasts fought with unexpected valor, their battle cries echoing through the jungle. Amidst the fray, Lawrence found himself cornered by Kallax, the assassin's plasma rifle leveled at his chest. "You have no idea what you truly are," Kallax hissed. "These ruins? They're part of a network we've been studying for decades. And you, human, are the key to unlocking their true potential, a weapon capable of bringing the entire galaxy to its knees." Lawrence's mind raced, trying to process the implications. Before he could formulate a response, a golden radiance washed over the battlefield. A towering figure materialized between Lawrence and Kallax, its shimmering form radiating power beyond anything he had encountered. With a casual gesture, the newcomer sent Kallax and his forces flying backwards. The Zorgax assassin snarled in frustration before activating his personal teleporter, vanishing in a flash of light along with his remaining troops. As the dust settled, Lawrence found himself face to face with the enigmatic being. Its features were alien yet somehow familiar, as if pulled from the depths of a half-remembered dream. "I am Nexus," the figure intoned, its voice resonating on multiple levels. "Leader of the Celestial Guardians, and you, Lawrence Hunter, are far more important than you realize." Lawrence's companions gathered around, expressions ranging from awe to suspicion. Nexus surveyed the group before continuing. "What you carry within you is known as the Convergence, a cosmic phenomenon that occurs but once in a million years. It grants a single individual the power to reshape reality itself, to usher in a new age for all of creation." Lawrence staggered under the weight of the revelation. "But why me?" Nexus's golden eyes seemed to peer into his very soul. "The universe chose you, Lawrence, but that choice comes with great responsibility and great danger. Your power will continue to grow, becoming harder to control. And there are those, like the Zorgax, who would use you for their own ends. The Celestial Guardian's gaze swept across the ancient ruin. To fulfill your destiny and bring balance to the galaxy, you must journey to the Nexus Point, our hidden sanctuary. There you can learn to master your abilities under our guidance. Merrick stepped forward, her voice filled with grit. And where is this Nexus Point? That, Nexus replied, is a secret we must uncover together. The path will be fraught with peril, for the Zorgax now know the true extent of Lawrence's potential. They will stop at nothing to capture him and unleash a weapon of unimaginable destruction. Lawrence looked at his companions, Bolians, Luminari, Kragnar, and now a Celestial Guardian. Each had risked everything to stand by his side. He felt the power thrumming beneath his skin, a constant reminder of the responsibility thrust upon him. Then we'd better get moving, he said, squaring his shoulders. We've got a galaxy to save. As they set out from the ruins, leaving the transformed jungle behind, Lawrence couldn't shake the feeling that this was only the beginning. The true test of his powers, his purpose, and the bonds forged with his unlikely allies still lay ahead. The journey to the Nexus Point pushed Lawrence and his allies to their limits. They navigated treacherous asteroid fields, evaded Zorgax patrols, and weathered cosmic storms that warped the very fabric of space-time around them. At last, their battered ship emerged from a swirling nebula to behold a sight that defied comprehension. The Nexus Point hung suspended in the void, a colossal structure of impossible geometry, its surface a kaleidoscope of shifting colors and patterns. As they approached, a shimmering energy field enveloped their vessel, guiding it to a docking bay that seemed to materialize from nothing. Lawrence stepped onto the station, his companions close behind. The air hummed with latent power that made his skin tingle. Nexus greeted them, flanked by other Celestial Guardians. "Welcome, emissary," the towering being intoned. "Your training begins now." Days blurred into weeks as Lawrence delved into the mysteries of his burgeoning powers. He learned to bend light, manipulate gravity, and peer into the very building blocks of reality itself. Yet for every breakthrough, the weight of responsibility grew heavier. Merrick found him one cycle, staring out at the stars. "You've been pushing yourself too hard," she said, placing a comforting hand on his shoulder. Lawrence sighed. "I have to. The Zorgax are still out there, and—" A distant rumble cut him off. Alarms blared throughout the station. "We're under attack." Zephyr's energy form pulsed with urgency as he materialized beside them. A Zorgax armada, led by Kallax himself. They raced to the command center, where Nexus stood before a holographic display of the battle unfolding around them. Swarms of Zorgax fighters clashed with the Celestial Guardians' defenses, while massive dreadnoughts unleashed salvos of energy weapons against the Nexus Point's shields. "We must complete the awakening ritual," Nexus declared. "It is our only hope." Lawrence's allies sprang into action. The Kragnar outcasts manned defense turrets, while Luminary technicians worked to reinforce the shields. Marique coordinated with the Bolians to set up triage centers for the wounded. Nexus led Lawrence to the heart of the station, a vast chamber pulsing with raw cosmic energy. "The ritual will push you to your limits," the Guardian warned, "but you must endure for the sake of all." As Lawrence stepped into the center of the chamber, tendrils of energy began to coalesce around him. He gritted his teeth against the pain, feeling as though his very atoms were being torn apart and reassembled. Outside, the battle raged. Kallax's flagship breached the outer defenses, its boarding parties storming the station. Lawrence's companions fought with desperate valor to hold them back, knowing that everything hinged on buying him enough time. The ritual reached its crescendo. Lawrence's body lifted off the ground, crackling with power beyond imagining. In that moment, he glimpsed the infinite tapestry of reality, past, present, and future intertwined. A titanic explosion rocked the station. Kallax burst into the chamber, plasma rifle raised. "At last," the assassin snarled, "the power of the convergence will be—" Lawrence's eyes snapped open, blazing with cosmic fire. He raised a hand, and reality itself seemed to bend around him. A shockwave of pure energy erupted outward, vaporizing Kallax and rippling through the station. The Zorgax armada disintegrated, their ships reduced to cosmic dust. But the wave didn't stop there. It tore a hole in the very fabric of space-time, revealing a realm of pure energy and consciousness. Vast, incomprehensible beings of light and thought regarded Lawrence through the rift. Their voices resonated directly in his mind, conveying concepts beyond mortal understanding. "You have proven worthy, emissary," they communicated. "The time has come for you to bridge the divide between realms and guide your kin toward ascension." As the rift began to close, Lawrence turned to his awestruck companions. His voice echoed with newfound power and purpose. "Our work is just beginning," he said. "There's a galaxy out there in need of healing, and I think I know where to start." Lawrence's transformation reverberated across the cosmos. The rift sealed, leaving behind a changed universe and an equally changed emissary. His eyes, once a warm brown, now shimmered with starlight. Each movement left trails of cosmic energy in his wake. "There's a galaxy out there in need of healing," he repeated, his voice carrying newfound authority, "and we're going to make it happen." In the cycles that followed, Lawrence and his companions embarked on a journey of galactic reconciliation. They brokered peace between warring species, shared advanced technologies with developing worlds, and dismantled oppressive regimes. On a verdant world in the Orion Arm, Lawrence stood before a gathering of former enemies, Zorgax diplomats, Kragnar clan leaders, and Bolian elders. His words carried weight beyond mere speech, resonating on a subatomic level. "For too long, we've allowed fear and mistrust to divide us," he said, gesturing to the assembled crowd. "Today, we take the first step towards a unified future." As Lawrence spoke, a shimmering hologram materialized above the gathering. It depicted a massive space station, a neutral ground where species from across the galaxy could collaborate on scientific and cultural endeavors. Zephyr, his energy form pulsing with excitement, elaborated on the technical specifications. Merrick outlined security protocols that would ensure equal representation for all member species. The next several years passed in a whirlwind of diplomatic missions, technological exchanges, and cultural celebrations. Lawrence watched with pride as former enemies worked side by side, pooling their knowledge to solve problems that had plagued their civilizations for millennia. But the seeds of discord were never fully extinguished. On Bolus Prime, the lush Bolian homeworld, Lawrence stood at the center of a grand amphitheater. Representatives from 100 worlds had gathered to ratify the Galactic Alliance Charter. The air hummed with anticipation and hope. A flash of movement caught Lawrence's eye. He turned, his enhanced senses picking up a disturbance in the crowd. Time seemed to slow as he saw the metallic glint of a device activating. "Everybody down!" he shouted, unleashing a wave of protective energy. The singularity bomb detonated with reality-warping force. Lawrence felt Merrick's body slam into him, shielding him from the brunt of the blast. The amphitheater, the surrounding city, the entire planet, all were consumed in an instant. When the dust settled, Lawrence found himself floating in the debris field that had once been Bolus Prime. Billions of lives snuffed out in an instant. And Merrick. He cradled her broken body, cosmic power flowing from his hands in a desperate attempt to heal her. But even his newfound abilities had limits. "Don't," Merrick whispered, her indigo skin pale and cracked. "Don't blame yourself, Lawrence. We knew the risks." She died in his arms, leaving Lawrence adrift in more ways than one. In the aftermath of the attack, fear and mistrust spread like wildfire across the galaxy. The fledgling alliance fractured along old lines of division. Many worlds, seeking protection, turned to the Andromeda Consortium, a shadowy organization that promised security through advanced weaponry. Lawrence found himself hunted, his former allies now viewing him as a potential doomsday weapon to be controlled or destroyed. He fled from system to system, each jump leaving a trail of unintended destruction in his wake. Stars flickered and died as he passed. Planets sheared apart, their orbits disrupted by his mere presence. Lawrence's powers were spiraling beyond his control, and the fabric of reality began to fray around him. On a desolate moon orbiting a dying star, Lawrence finally stopped running. His body crackled with impossibly strong energy, warping the very air around him. He fell to his knees, overwhelmed by grief and the crushing weight of his failures. "Why?" he screamed into the void. "Why give me this power if I can't protect them?" The starry void rippled, and vast beings of pure energy emerged. Their voices resonated directly in Lawrence's mind, conveying concepts beyond mortal comprehension. "Emissary Deirucha," they intoned, "you were never meant to be a savior. Your role is far greater and far more terrible." Images flooded Lawrence's consciousness. He saw the birth and death of countless universes, each one giving way to the next in an endless cycle of creation and destruction. And at the center of it all, a figure wreathed in cosmic fire, himself. "You are the harbinger," the beings continued, "the catalyst that will unmake this reality so that a new one may flourish." Lawrence recoiled from the revelation. "No," he whispered, "I won't be responsible for destroying everything I've fought to protect." But even as he spoke, he felt the truth of their words. The power within him yearned for release, to tear down the old and make way for the new. He was a forest fire, terrible and necessary for the ecosystem's renewal. Tears streamed down Lawrence's face as he realized the magnitude of the choice before him. Embrace his cosmic role and sacrifice everything he loved, or fight against his destiny and condemn reality itself to a slow, entropic death. The beings waited, patient and implacable, as Lawrence wrestled with his decision. The future of the stars hung in the balance, teetering on the choice of one insignificant human who had been granted the power of gods.
You have reached the end of the story. If you enjoyed this story and want to support us, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel, and for every comment that says 88, I will heart every single one of them. Thank you for your time.